The year was 1977. Disco was in full swing, Star Wars had just hit theaters, and the Church of Scientology was about to have its dirty laundry aired. This wasn't about outlandish beliefs or celebrity followers. This was about a secret operation dubbed Operation Snow White. Imagine agents infiltrating government offices, stealing documents, and wiretapping officials. This was Scientology's attempt to neutralize perceived enemies in the government. Their targets? The IRS, the FBI, and the Department of Justice. Their goal? To purge negative information about Scientology and its founder L. Ron Hubbard. 11 high-ranking Scientologists, including Hubbard's wife, were convicted of conspiracy and other crimes. The scandal exposed aggressive and often illegal tactics used to silence critics and protect its image. This is the story of Operation Snow White, a tale of intrigue, espionage, and the lengths to which a powerful organization would go to safeguard its secrets. The name Snow White might conjure up images of fairy tales and happy endings, but in the annals of Scientology, it represents something far more sinister. The Snow White files, uncovered during a raid on Scientology offices in 1977, revealed a sprawling and illegal operation. These weren't your average files, they were a blueprint for espionage and infiltration. The files detailed a systematic campaign to target government agencies deemed hostile to Scientology. The IRS, which had revoked Scientology's tax-exempt status, was a primary target. The church, convinced of a conspiracy against them, sought to discredit the agency and its officials. Agents working for Scientology, many of them young and devout followers, were tasked with infiltrating government offices. They posed as concerned citizens, interns, even janitors, all to gain access to sensitive information. Their mission to steal documents, plant listening devices, and gather dirt on their enemies. The operation was vast and well-coordinated. Agents communicated using code names, secret meetings, and dead drops. They even went so far as to burglarize government offices, pilfering files and copying documents. The lengths to which they went were shocking, revealing a blatant disregard for the law and a chilling willingness to subvert the government. The driving force behind Operation Snow White was a deep-seated paranoia within Scientology. The church, led by the enigmatic L. Ron Hubbard, believed it was under constant attack by a shadowy cabal of enemies. These enemies included government agencies, the media, and former members deemed suppressive persons. Hubbard, the science fiction writer turned religious leader, had instilled in his followers a siege mentality. He taught that Scientology was the only path to salvation, and that any criticism was an attack on their very existence. This worldview fueled the church's aggressive and often illegal tactics. Infiltrating the government was seen as a way to neutralize these perceived threats. By gaining access to sensitive information, Scientology hoped to discredit its critics, influence policy, and ensure its own survival. The church believed that the ends justified the means, no matter how unethical or unlawful. Their methods were as brazen as they were sophisticated. Agents used forged credentials, fake identities, and elaborate cover stories to infiltrate government offices. They exploited vulnerabilities in security systems, bribed officials, and even resorted to blackmail. The audacity of their operation was staggering, a testament to their unwavering belief in their own righteousness. The reign of secrecy surrounding Operation Snow White came crashing down in 1977. The FBI, tipped off by a disgruntled former Scientologist, raided church offices in Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles. What they uncovered sent shockwaves through the nation. Thousands of documents detailing the operation were seized, exposing the vast scope of Scientology's illegal activities. The church, once dismissed by some as a fringe group, was now at the center of a major scandal. The public was appalled, and the government was furious. The fallout was swift and severe. 11 high-ranking Scientologists, including Mary Sue Hubbard, L. Ron Hubbard's wife, were charged with conspiracy, burglary, and obstruction of justice. Hubbard himself, though never charged, was named an unindicted co-conspirator. The trial was a media sensation, further tarnishing Scientology's reputation. The defendants were found guilty and sentenced to prison, marking a significant blow to the church. Operation Snow White, once a symbol of Scientology's power and reach, had become its greatest shame. Section 5. A Pattern of Aggression. Scientology's Legal Playbook. Operation Snow White, while shocking in its scope, was not an isolated incident. It exposed a pattern of aggressive and often litigious behavior that has come to define Scientology's relationship with its critics. The church has a long and well-documented history of using lawsuits and legal threats to silence dissent and intimidate opponents. Scientology's legal tactics are often characterized as scorched earth. The church is known for filing frivolous lawsuits, engaging in endless appeals, and using the legal system to harass and financially drain its opponents. This strategy, while costly, can be effective in silencing critics who lack the resources to fight back. Journalists, former members, and even government agencies have found themselves on the receiving end of Scientology's legal wrath. The church has a history of suing for defamation, copyright infringement, and even emotional distress. These lawsuits, while often lacking merit, can tie up opponents in court for years and have a chilling effect on free speech. Section 6. Echoes in the Courtroom. Trump's Legal Tactics. The aggressive legal tactics employed by Scientology, while controversial, are not unique. Similar tactics have been observed in the legal strategies of former President Donald Trump. Trump, like Scientology, has a history of using litigation as a weapon. He has filed numerous lawsuits targeting business rivals, media outlets, and political opponents. These lawsuits are often characterized as frivolous and designed to intimidate critics. Trump's legal team has also been accused of using delaying tactics and exploiting legal loopholes. This strategy can wear down opponents and discourage future legal challenges. The parallels between Scientology's and Trump's legal tactics raise important questions about the role of litigation in a democratic society. Section 7. Beyond the Law. Scientology's anti-science stance. Scientology's controversial practices extend beyond the legal realm. The church has long espoused beliefs and practices that run counter to established scientific consensus, particularly in the fields of medicine and mental health. This anti-science stance has raised concerns among experts and fueled accusations that Scientology is a dangerous cult. One of Scientology's most controversial tenets is its rejection of psychiatry and psychology. The church views these fields as fraudulent and harmful, claiming that mental illness is a spiritual, not a medical condition. Scientology's alternative therapies, such as auditing, have been criticized as ineffective and potentially harmful. Scientology has also faced scrutiny for its stance on vaccinations. While the church does not have an official policy on vaccines, some high-ranking members have expressed skepticism about their safety and efficacy. This skepticism aligns with the broader anti-vaccine movement, which has been widely debunked by scientific evidence. Section 8. The Legacy of Snow White Relevance in the Digital Age. The legacy of Operation Snow White extends far beyond the convictions of a few individuals. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, the importance of government transparency, and the need for vigilance in protecting civil liberties. These lessons are perhaps even more relevant today, in the digital age, than they were in the 1970s. The tactics employed by Scientology during Operation Snow White, such as infiltration, surveillance, and information manipulation, are eerily similar to those used by governments and corporations today. The digital age has ushered in unprecedented opportunities for surveillance and data collection, raising concerns about privacy and the potential for abuse. The Snow White scandal also highlights the vulnerability of government institutions to infiltration and manipulation. While security measures have undoubtedly improved since the 1970s, the rise of cyber espionage and disinformation campaigns poses new challenges to government integrity and national security. Section 9. Conclusion Lessons from a Controversial Past. The story of Scientology's Operation Snow White is a stark reminder that truth, transparency, and accountability are essential pillars of a just and equitable society. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, the allure of secrecy, and the seductive nature of ideologies that demonize dissent and embrace absolutism. The echoes of Operation Snow White resonate even today, in an era marked by disinformation campaigns, eroding trust in institutions, and the rise of extremist ideologies. The lessons learned from this dark chapter in American history are as relevant as ever. Vigilance in protecting civil liberties, skepticism towards claims of absolute truth, and a commitment to holding those in power accountable for their actions. By understanding the mistakes of the past, we can better navigate the challenges of the present and build a future where freedom of thought, expression, and belief are not merely aspirations, but lived realities. The legacy of Operation Snow White, while troubling, can serve as a catalyst for positive change, reminding us that the price of liberty is eternal vigilance.